Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Rima Gupta from University of Delhi and today we are going to talk on module Electrical and Magnetic Properties of Ceramics, and this is under the paper Ceramics. So in this module we are discussing on first the fundamentals of diffusion, and then we are discussing about the diffusivity and its nature, and further we will first discuss what is mobility and then we will talk about mobility versus diffusion. So although ceramics are generally considered as insulating or conducting, ceramics are very important class of materials which are useful for various applications such as fuel cells, batteries, sensors and so on. So the conductivity in these materials is typically the hopping type due to diffusive transport of ionic defects. So the another class of electrically useful ceramics is dielectric ceramics, which are insulators and are used for charge storage as memory devices or electrical insulators only. Then a few ceramic materials such as ferrites exhibit very good magnetic properties which make them useful for several applications such as magnetic cores, high frequency applications and so on. So in this module we will investigate such type of materials one by one with a focus on their fundamental properties and behavior. So the first is diffusion. Diffusion causes changes in the microstructures in processes such as sintering, creep deformation, grain growth, etc. Diffusion is also related to the transport of defects or electronic charge carriers, giving rise to electrical conduction in ceramics. The ionic conductors are used in a variety of applications such as chemical and gas sensors, solid electrolytes and fuel cells. For example, an oxygen sensor made of ceramic zirconium oxide, that is ZrO2, is used in automobiles to optimize the fuel or air ratio in the engines. The atomic diffusion rates and electrical conductivity are largely governed by the defect types and their concentrations, where concentration is a function of temperature, partial pressure of oxygen, that is PO2, and composition. Now comes diffusion kinetics. So the compositional gradients in an alloy act as driving force for diffusion. So thermodynamically, it is due to gradient in the chemical potential which drives the migration of species from the regions of higher chemical potential to lower chemical potential, with system reaching a chemical equilibrium with time. So the atomic flux arising as a result of driving force is expressed in terms of chemical composition gradients, also called Fick's law. Now comes Fick's first law of diffusion. It states that atomic flux under steady state conditions is proportional to the concentration gradient. It can be stated as atomic flux, that is capital J, is directly proportional to minus of dC by dx, or J is equal to minus d dC by dx, where J is the diffusion flux with units mole per centimeter square seconds, d is the proportionality constant called as diffusion constant or diffusivity in centimeter square per second. X is the position in centimeter and C is the concentration in moles per centimeter cube. Here, the negative sign on the right hand side indicates that the diffusion takes place from regions of higher concentration to the regions of lower concentration, that is, down the concentration gradient. The diffusivity is a temperature-dependent parameter and is expressed as D is equal to D naught exponential minus Q by KT, where Q is the activation energy, K is the Boltzmann constant, and D naught is the pre-exponential force in centimeter square per second. Now here comes Fick's second law of diffusion. Strictly speaking, this is not a law, rather a derivation from the first law itself. It predicts how the concentration changes as a function of time under non-steady state conditions. It can be derived from the Fick's first law very easily, and for further discussion one can refer to the textbook and various courses related to phase transformation and diffusion. So we recall that dC by dt is equal to minus d square c by dx square, where t is the time in seconds and above terms are already mentioned in the previous slides. It predicts how the concentration changes as the function of time undergo non-steady state. Diffusivity, that is a simple model. So let us discuss about the diffusion model. So students, you can see on the left hand side of the slide the schematic of the planes of atoms with arrows showing the cross movement of species. So students, you can see that the J is changing for each part. As shown in this figure, the schematic shows the atomic planes illustrating a one-dimensional diffusion of species across the plane. The flux form position, that is from 1 to 2, is written as J1 is equal to 1 by 2 N1 into gamma, where N1 is the number of atoms at position 1 and lambda is the jump frequency or the number of atoms jumping per second. Similarly, the flux from plane 2 to plane 1 is expressed as J2 is equal to 1 by 2 N2 into lambda, where N2 is the number of atoms at 2 and 3, 3, 3. So in both the above expressions which we have mentioned, the factor 1 by 2 is there because of equal probability of jump in x plus and x minus directions. Now the net flux, that is J, can be calculated as J is equal to J1 minus J2, which is equal to 1 by 2 times N1 minus N2 into lambda. So the concentration is defined as C1 is equal to N1 by A and C2 is equal to N2 by A. So if the area considered as unit area, that is 1, and lambda is the distance between the two atomic planes, one can see the schematic diagram showing the concentration of gradient between the two planes of atoms on the right hand side of the slide. So the concentration gradient as depicted in this figure can be written as minus dC by dx is equal to C1 by lambda minus C2 by lambda, which comes out to be C2 minus C1 by lambda, which is equal to N1 minus N2 by lambda square. So hence the flux can be expressed as in terms of lambda and dC by dx. Now students, let us discuss about the diffusivity in detail. The net flux, which we have discussed previously, can be expressed as J is equal to 1 by 2 times minus lambda square dC by dx. So, the lambda becomes minus 1 by 2 lambda square into lambda into dC by dx, which comes out to be minus d into dC by dx. Here, d is equal to 1 by 2 lambda square into gamma. So with unit centimeter square per second in one dimensional, it can be expressed easily and shown to become d is equal to 1 by 6 of lambda square. So this case is in a 3D cubic coordination scenario. So in general, the diffusivity can be expressed as d is equal to gamma lambda square into gamma, where gamma is governed by the possible number of jumps at an instant and lambda is the number jumps, that is the jump distance, and it is governed by the atomic configuration and crystal structure. Now let us discuss about the temperature dependence diffusivity. Now by Boltzmann statistics, we know that the jump frequency, that is gamma, is equal to nu times exponential minus delta G by kT, where nu is the natural vibrating frequency in per centimeter and delta G star is the activation energy of migration in J and K is the Boltzmann constant in joules per Kelvin. Further, when we talk about delta G star, it can be written as delta G star is equal to delta H star minus T delta S star. So here delta H star is the entropy of migration, delta S star is the associated entropy change, and now substituting this expression, we get the value of T. So the diffusivity, that is D, is given as gamma lambda square into nu exponential delta S star by K into exponential minus delta H star by KT. Or it can be written as D is equal to D naught exponential minus delta H by KT, where D naught is the pre-exponential factor, which is gamma lambda square nu star into exponential delta S star by KT. So this explains thermally activated nature of diffusivity, showing an exponential temperature dependence resulting in significant increase to the diffusivity upon increasing the temperature. Now let us take the example of diffusion in ceramics. So the first example is diffusion in lightly doped NaCl. NaCl is often used as a conducting electrolyte and it is a good case for providing an example. Consider the case of NaCl as an impurity element. In such scenario, for each cadmium ion, the cadmium occupying sodium are with an extra positive charge and a sodium vacancy with one negative charge is created according to the following defect regions. So first reaction is CdCl2 in the presence of NaCl gives Ca Na plus 2Cl ClX plus Vna prime. In addition, NaCl will also have a certain intrinsic sodium and chlorine vacancy formation due to Schottky association. So it depends on the temperature of operation. Now in such scenario, the diffusivity of sodium ions is governed by the vacancy diffusion and can be worked out as D is equal to Vna into gamma lambda square exponential delta G by KT, where delta G star is the migration free energy for sodium vacancies and VNA is the sodium vacancy concentrations. The diffusivity of vacancy is dependent on the vacancy concentration, which is related to the dopant concentration. However, the diffusivity dependence on temperature shows two regimes as shown in this figure. So, low temperature extrinsic regimes were vacancy operated or vacancy concentrations which is independent of temperature and is determined by a solute concentration, and another high temperature intrinsic regimes where the vacancy concentration is dominated by the intrinsic thermally generated vacancies. So students, you can see in the figure, in case of lower temperature regimes, the extrinsic region is dominated where vacancy concentration is constant, as it is determined by the solution concentration. So the diffusivity in this region is given as dNA is equal to VNA into D naught into exponential minus delta HNA star by KT. So in this regime, the diffusivity exhibits a temperature dependence of minus delta H NA by K. However, if we look around the high temperature regime, in this regime the vacancy concentration is governed by intrinsic variation mechanism with Schottky defect formation, and hence the diffusion or the diffusivity exhibits a steeper slope with higher activation energy, which includes not only the energy for perfect migration but also for defect creation. So in this case, DNA is equal to some constant into exponential minus delta H plus 2 delta HNA by 2 KT. So at the point of crossover of two regimes, the vacancy concentrations due to the dopant equals the thermally created vacancies. Mobility and diffusivity. So in addition to diffusivity, one useful term which is typically used to express conduction in various ionic compounds as well as other ceramic is called as mobility. So in the context of ionic solids and ceramics, the mobility is defined as the velocity of an entity or species per unit driving force, that is F, which could be of any kind such as chemical or electrical or mechanical. It is expressed as M is equal to V by F. As mentioned above, F, that is the force, is arise from either of chemical potential gradient or electrical potential gradient, or it can be due to stress gradient or interfacial energy gradient or any other similar parameter. Based on these, the mobility can be defined as the absolute mobility, that is Bi is equal to V into Cm by S divided by 1 by Na into del U by del X, which comes out to be Cm square by Joule second, that is centimeter square. Joule seconds is the unit. So where Na is the Avogadro's number, U is the chemical potential in joules per mole, and X is the position in centimeter. So the chemical mobility Bi is equal to Vi into del U by del X, and the units are moles centimeter square by Joule seconds. So the electrical mobility in the context of ceramics is given as mu is equal to B upon del phi by del X, which is, that is, the units become centimeter per seconds by volts per second, so it becomes centimeter per volt. So for atomic transport, it was Einstein who first pointed out that the most general driving force is the virtual force, which acts on a diffusing atom or species and is due to negative gradient of the chemical potential or partial molar free energy, and it is expressed as F is equal to 1 by Na times du by dx. To obtain the relation between the mobility and diffusivity of the species ith, we need to write the flux in general form as a product of concentration and velocity. So here we are representing the concentration with Ci and velocity with Vi. So the flux is represented as Ji is equal to Ci into Vi, and V is B into F. So the expression becomes Ji is equal to Ci, Bi and Fi. So now substituting for Fi, we get the flux as Ji is equal to 1 upon minus Na into d mu by dx into B into C. So now for an ideal solution with unit activity of species, the chemical potential can be expressed as mu I is equal to mu naught I plus RT ln C. So ln is the natural log of Ci, where R is the gas constant. So the change in the chemical potential can be written as d mu I is equal to RT d of natural log Ci. So the expression becomes RT by C into natural log C. So finally we get d mu by dx is equal to RT divided by C in numerator multiply by natural log of C, or we can write RT upon C into dC by dx. Now substituting equation 27 into equation 24, which leads to the expression J is equal to minus RT upon Na into B into dC by dx. So if we compare the above equation with the Fick's first law, which we discussed earlier, the diffusivity of ith species, that is Di, can be written as Di is equal to RT upon Na multiplied by Bi. So the expression becomes KT into Bi. So this expression, this equation, that is D is equal to KTBI, is called Nernst-Einstein equation. Now students, let's summarize what we have learned in this module. So the first thing which we have learned is the diffusion. So diffusion is a phenomena where species migrate from regions of higher chemical potential to lower chemical potential, and generally high concentration to lower concentrations. So diffusion is thermally activated process with strong temperature dependence and is characterized by diffusivity, which is strongly dependent on temperature. So the Nernst-Einstein relation has also been derived, and it correlates the electrical mobility and the ionic diffusivity. Thank you.